Hello, I'm reading a copy of Self-Realization Fellowship Lessons that I downloaded from angelfire.com. I'm starting at the second paragraph on page 2 of Lesson S1P3A. Each of the foregoing details is a contributing factor towards the chief aim of the meditation posture, an erect spine, held stable without strain or tension for the duration of the meditation period. If, because of bad habits of posture or congenital defects of posture, you experience difficulty or discomfort in maintaining the specified positions of feet, hands, shoulders, chest, and abdomen, make whatever common sense adjustments are necessary to your individual need, but strive always toward accomplishing the ideal posture recommended by Paramahansa Yogananda. When you are established in the meditation pose, inhale slowly and deeply through the nostrils to a count of 20. Hold the breath to a count of 20. Exhale slowly through the mouth to a count of 20. Practice this 6 to 12 times. A shorter count may be used provided it is the same count in each of the three parts. Then inhale, tensing the whole body and clenching the fists. Relax all the body parts at once, and as you do, expel the breath through the mouth in a double exhalation. Huh, huh. Repeat this practice 6 times. Then forget the breath. Let it flow in and out naturally of its own accord as in ordinary breathing. With the eyelids half closed or completely closed, if it is more comfortable to you, look upward, focusing the gaze and the attention as though looking out through a point between the eyebrows. A person deep in concentration often knits his brows at this spot. Do not cross the eyes or strain them. The upward gaze comes naturally when one is relaxed and calmly concentrated. What is important is fixing the whole attention at the point between the eyebrows. This is the Christ consciousness center, the seat of the single eye spoken of by Christ. The light of the body is the eye, and therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Matthew 6:22. When the purpose of meditation is fulfilled, the devotee finds his consciousness automatically concentrated at the spiritual eye, and he experiences, according to his inner spiritual capacity, a state of joyous divine union with Spirit. Making a steadfast effort, the beginner may in time perceive light or even see the spiritual eye in 3 colors, a reflection of the actual luminous eye in the medulla oblongata at the base of the skull where it joins the neck. This single eye of light reflected in the forehead is the astral eye of intuitive omnipresent perception. It takes deep concentration and calmness to behold the spiritual eye, a golden halo surrounding a circle of blue in the center which palpitates a 5-point white star. Those who do see the spiritual eye should strive to penetrate it by deeper concentration and by devoted prayer to God. The depth of calmness and concentration necessary for this are naturally developed through steady practice of scientific SRF techniques of concentration and meditation. Parentheses, lesson 21 and 29. Whether you see the light of the spiritual eye or not, however, you should continue to concentrate at the Christ Consciousness Center between the eyebrows, praying deeply to God and His great saints. In the language of your heart, invoke their presence and their blessings. A good practice is to take an affirmation or a prayer from the lessons or from Paramahansa Yogananda Ji's Whispers from Eternity or Metaphysical Meditations, and spiritualize it with your own devotional yearning. Silently chant and pray to God, keeping the attention at the point between the eyebrows until you feel God's response as calm, deep peace, and inner joy. Visualization. Divine consciousness is omnipresent. In order to attune one's consciousness to it, it is necessary to It is necessary first to expand the mind by meditation on some aspect of God's infinite nature. Visualization is not realization, but visualization is an effective aid in deepening one's concentration, which is essential for the deep meditation that yields realization. The following exercise in visualization and mental expansion is given by Paramahansa Yogananda. As given by Paramahansa, will be found helpful in preparing the mind to practice the scientific techniques of meditation that are given in later lessons. Sit upright, focus your gaze and your mind at the Christ consciousness center between the eyebrows. Fill your heart with joy. Behold, the sphere of darkness that you see with closed eyes is becoming a sphere of light and joy. This sphere is enlarging. Now it is bigger than your body. Go on expanding the sphere of joy and light. Your home and everyone in it are present in the sphere of light that you are beholding. Go on expanding it until you see your whole city in this sphere of joy and light. Ever increasing, the sphere of light and joy is encompassing the entire United States, and still it is expanding, including Europe, Asia, and the world. See the world bathed in the light of this peaceful sphere of joy. The earth appears as a little ball moving in the vast sphere of light and joy. The sphere is becoming even larger. See our planetary and stellar system, the Milky Way, and the island galaxies like little bubbles are floating in it. Expand the sphere of light and joy within you, in which all things are moving, glimmering like the lights of a city. Meditate on and try to be one with that joy. God is joy, and we must find him through joy. The scriptures say, "Thou art that." Yourself is one with this vast sphere of light that is your Father. You are the sphere of light and joy. Meditate on that. You have no boundaries. Eternity above, below, everywhere. In this eternal sphere of light and joy, all things are moving. Mentally affirm. In me, worlds are floating like bubbles. I and my Father are one. Now open your eyes. Look at the body and see how little it is. Close your eyes and realize again that you are not the body. You are the eternal sphere of light and joy in which all things have their being. Go on meditating, mentally affirming, I am the cosmic sphere of light, of joy, of love, in which worlds and universes are floating like bubbles. My Father is this cosmic sphere of light. My Father and I are one. I am not the body. I am the eternal sphere of light. Om, Amen. Paramahansa Yogananda cautioned devotees against the erroneous thought, I am God. One should realize rather, God has become myself. The soul is like a wave on the sea bosom of spirit. The soul wave is one with the sea, but the wave is not the sea. Through daily practice of the foregoing techniques, you can prepare yourself for the practice of basic techniques of concentration and meditation that are given in later self-realization fellowship lessons. These scientific techniques will enable you to dive ever more deeply in the great ocean of God's presence. We all exist at this very moment in that ocean of spirit, but only by steadfast, devoted, scientific meditation may we consciously perceive that we are individualized soul waves on the vast ocean of God's bliss. The meditation period should last at least 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes at night. The longer you sit, enjoying the state of meditative calm, the faster you will progress spiritually. Carry into your daily activities the calmness you feel in meditation. That calmness will help you bring harmony and happiness into every department of your life. Unending joy awaits the sincere truth seeker who conscientiously meditates each day. Through the grace of God, through the blessings of the Masters, and through your own devotional effort, you can achieve the state of divine joy experienced by all saints who have become established in the Lord, that have been consciously aware of their soul unity with Spirit. Key points. Number 1. Set aside a regular time and place for your daily practices of the spiritual techniques taught by Self-Realization Fellowship. Try to find a quiet place where you can be free from outside distractions and thus be able to concentrate with more intensity. If possible, never use that place for any other purpose than meditation. Thus you will impregnate the spot with spiritual vibrations that will help you to make each day's meditation deeper than the meditation of the preceding day. You may have there a small altar with pictures of Christ, Krishna, and the gurus of Self-Realization Fellowship. Number 2. Always begin and end your meditation with a prayer, such as Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, Bhagavan Krishna, Babaji, Lahara Messiah, Siri Yuchiswar, Guru Preceptor Paramahansa Yogananda, Saints of all religions, I bow to you all. Free my life from the obstacles of delusion and lead me to thy shores of fulfillment. Or, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of my devotion, and may I be able to awaken thy love in all hearts. Number 3. Early morning upon rising and the period just before retiring at night are excellent times for meditation. Do not try to meditate just after eating. Wait at least an hour if possible. The kind of food one eats also has a definite bearing on one's health or ill health, not only of the body but of the mind. Be sure the diet includes an abundance of fresh vegetables and fruits. Eat nuts, cheese, eggs, and vegetable proteins in preference to meat. Fruits are the most spiritually beneficial of all foods. It is good to use a woolen blanket or silk cloth, or both, with the silk on top, to cover your meditation seat. Drape the cloth over the back of the chair if a chair is used, and place one end of the cloth on the floor under your feet. The cloth helps to insulate the body from subtle earth currents. Their magnetic downward pull toward material perception is undesirable for the meditating devotee. The yogis have found also that facing east, the direction from which subtle spiritual solar currents are always flowing, is helpful in meditation. Number 5. Bathing has a cleansing effect not only on the body but also on the mind, and therefore a beneficial practice before meditation. Bathing opens the pores, allowing toxins to escape, but also helps to distribute the life energy evenly throughout the body, quieting the nerves and inducing calmness. One should also take a mental bath before meditation. Put aside all worries and problems. Completely give to God the time you have set aside for meditation. Concentrate on one of His infinite aspects: peace, joy, wisdom, love, light, beauty, or on a personal aspect such as the ever-loving, all-forgiving Divine Mother. Many devotees find inspiration by meditation on divine incarnations of God such as Christ and the Masters. Reading a devotional passage from Whispers from Eternity or Metaphysical Meditations, or singing a devotional song from Cosmic Chants helps to uplift the mind. Meditation in itself is an unequaled spiritual bath, a cleansing and rejuvenation of body, mind, and soul. Number 6. Practice the Self-Realization Fellowship energization exercises and also certain yoga asanas, parentheses, body postures, is beneficial in preparing the body for deep meditation. The life forces in the body are harmonized by these relaxing and calming methods, and one's attention is freed from the aches and pains and from the drowsiness or restlessness that keeps the mind sense-bound and body-conscious. Be regular in your meditations, parentheses, whether they be deep or in the beginning restless. Be persistent if you would attract God's attention. Remember that meditation should be practiced with devotion, with real love for God. Paramahansaji has said that love for God means craving for God. He cannot resist the magnetic attraction of human soul yearning. Meditation techniques help you to awaken and whet that divine craving which will take you to the heights of realization, of soul union with God bliss. Resolve that you will never give up until He comes to you. Whether you realize it or not, He is listening to the cry of your heart. In His own time, He will bestow the supreme gift of Himself. Self-Realization Fellowship Lesson S1 P4. Thy self-realization will blossom forth from thy soulful study. Friendship by Paramahansa Yogananda. Is friendship the weaving of the red strings of two hearts? Is it the blending of two minds into a spacious one mind? Is it the spouting of love fonts together to strengthen the rush of love on droughty souls? Is it the one rose grown twixt twin mind branchlets of one compassion stem? Is it the one thinking in two bodies? Friendship is noble, fruitful, holy. When two separate souls march in difference, yet in harmony, agreeing and disagreeing, growing, improving diversely, with one common longing to find solace in true pleasure, when ne'er the lover seeks self-comfort at the cost of the one beloved, then in that garden of selflessness fragrant friendship perfectly flowers. Ah, friendship, flowering, heaven-born plant, nurtured art thou in the soil of measureless love, in the seeking of soul progress together, by two who would smooth the way each for the other, and thou art watered by attention of affection, the tender dews of inner and outer sweetness, of the inmost selfless heart's devotion. Ah, friendship, where thy soul-bound flowers fall, there on that sacred shrine of fragrance, the friend of all friends craves to come and remain. Prayer. Divine Mother, I behold Thee as the only friend, helping me, encouraging me through all my friends. Friendship. What is true friendship? Friendship is God's love shining through the eyes of your loved ones, calling you home to drink His nectar of eternal unity. Friendship is God's trumpet call, bidding the soul destroy the partitions of ego consciousness that separate it from all souls and from Him. True friendship unites two souls so completely that they reflect the unity of spirit and its divine qualities. True friendship is broad and inclusive. Selfish attachment to a single individual, excluding all others, inhibits the development of divine friendship. Extend the boundaries of the glowing kingdom of your love, gradually including your family, your neighbors, your community, your country, all living sentient creatures. Be also a cosmic friend, imbued with kindness and affection for all God's creation, scattering love everywhere. Such is the example set by all avatars and saints. Such was the example set by Christ, by Swami Shankara, and by Babaji, Lahari Messiah, and Swami Siri Yutaswar. Consider no one a stranger. Learn to feel that everybody is akin to you. Family love is merely one of the first exercises in the Divine Teacher's course in friendliness. Intend to prepare your heart for all-inclusive divine love. Realize that the same life blood is circulating in the veins of all races. How may anyone dare to hate any other human being of whatever race when God lives and breathes in all? We are Americans or Hindus or other nationalities for just a few years, but we are God's children forever. The soul cannot be confined within man-made boundaries. Its nationality is spirit, its country is omnipresence. Attracting friends. It is not necessary to know and love all human beings and other creatures personally and intimate. All you need to do is be ready at all times to shed the light of friendly service over all living creatures whom you happen to meet. This attitude requires constant mental effort and preparedness, in other words, unselfishness. The sun shines equally on diamond and charcoal, but the former has developed qualities that enable it to reflect the sunlight brilliantly, while the latter is unable to reflect the sunlight. Emulate the diamond in your dealings with people. Brightly reflect the light of God's love. To have friends, you must manifest friendliness. If you open the door to the magnetic power of friendship, souls of like vibrations will be attracted to you. The more friendly you become toward all, the greater will be the number of your real friends. When perfect friendship exists either between two hearts or within a group of hearts in a spiritual relationship, such a friendship perfects each individual. The heart purified by friendship provides an open door to unity. Through it, you should invite other souls to enter the temple of brotherhood, those who love you and even those who love you not. Friendship should not be influenced by the relative positions of people. It may and should exist between lovers, employer and employee, teacher and pupil, parents and children, and others. God's effort to unite strife-torn humanity manifests itself within each heart as the friendship instinct. Service to friends. True friendship consists in being mutually useful in offering one's good cheer in distress, sympathy in sorrow, advice in trouble, and material help in times of real need. Friendship consists in rejoicing in the good fortune of one's friends and in sympathizing with them in adversity. One who has given his friendship to another gladly forgoes selfish pleasures or self-interest for the sake of his friend's happiness, without consciousness of loss or sacrifice, and without counting the cost. Jealousy is self-love and death is Jealousy is self-love and death to friendship. Human love and friendship have their basis in service on the physical or mental or business plane. They are conditional and may be short-lived. Blind friendship between selfish and unthinking persons may end suddenly in blind hatred. Divine love has its foundation in service on the spiritual and intuitional planes and is unconditional and everlasting. The greater the mutual service, the deeper the friendship. Why does Jesus have such a wide following? Because he, like other great masters, excelled in service to humanity. Hence, to attract friends, one must possess the qualities of a real friend. Help your friend by being a mental, aesthetic, and spiritual inspiration to him. Never be sarcastic to a friend. Do not flatter him unless it is to encourage him. Do not agree with him when he is wrong. One who feels real friendship cannot witness with indifference a friend's indulgence in harmful pleasures. This does not mean one should pick a quarrel. Suggest mentally, or if your friend is asked, suggest mentally, or if your advice is asked, give it gently and lovingly. Unwise persons argue. Friends discuss their differences. Love your enemies. The secret of Christ's strength lay in his love for all, even his enemies. Far better to conquer by love the heart of a person who hates you than to vanquish him by vindictive force. To the ordinary man, such a doctrine seems absurd. His first impulse is to return 2 slaps for the one that he has received, and to add a kick for good measure. Why should you love your enemy? In order that you may bring the healing rays of your love into his dark, hatred-stricken heart. When friendship is so released, it can behold itself in pure golden love. Thus will the flame of your love burn away the partitions of hatred and misery that separate your soul from other souls and that separate all unenlightened souls from the vast sea of infinite love. Practice loving those who do not love you. Feel for those who do not feel for you. Be generous to those who are generous only to themselves. If you heap hatred on your enemy, neither he nor you will be able to perceive the inherent beauty of your soul. Avoid doing anything that brings harm to yourself or to another. If you are self-indulgent, or if you encourage a friend in his vices, you are an enemy disguised as a friend. Be true to yourself and to others, and you will gain the friendship of God. Once you make your love felt in other people, it will expand until it becomes the one cosmic love that flows through all hearts. There are people who do not trust anyone, and who utterly doubt the possibility of ever being true friends. Some, in fact, actually boast that they get along without friends. But those who fail to be friendly disregard the divine law of self-expansion, by which alone the soul evolves and returns to spirit. In humility and apologies on your part, if humility and apologies on your part will bring out the good qualities of a person who considers himself your enemy, by all means apologize when necessary. The person who can do this has attained a definite spiritual development, for it takes character to be able to apologize graciously and sincerely. It is the consciousness of his own inferiority that makes a man hide behind a display of pride. Do not, however, encourage a wrongdoer by being too humble and apologetic. You need not fawn on your enemy, just silently love him. Silently be of service to him whenever he is in need, for love is real only when it is useful and expresses itself through action. Thus man may rend the veils of hatred and the narrow-mindedness that hide God from his sight. You may ask, how can I learn to love my enemies? I am not strong enough to do that. My answer is this: constant communion with the infinite by SRF methods of meditation fills one with divine love, which alone enables one to love one's enemies. Always remember that you need the inspiration of better company, of those more highly evolved than yourself, to keep spirit constantly improving. And you should also share your own goodness with people of inferior qualities who need your help. A saint once said, "Good company is of paramount importance, as it influences your reason and will, which by repetition of good thoughts and action form good habits." Friends of past incarnations. Make every effort to rediscover your friends of past incarnations, whom you may recognize through familiar physical, mental, and spiritual qualities. Try to resume such friendships begun in a preceding incarnation and perfect them into divine friendship. One may come in daily contact with some people and yet not feel in sympathy with them. You have to adapt yourself to such persons and learn to love them. But there are others with whom you may feel instantly sympathetic at first meeting. It seems as though you have always known them. This indicates that they are friends from previous incarnations. Do not neglect them, but strengthen the friendship existing between you. Always be on the lookout for friends of past incarnations by being calm within when you meet others. Mental restlessness and inattention may prevent your recognizing such friends. Not infrequently, such old friends are very near you, drawn into the orbit of your life by the friendship born in the dim, distant past. They constitute your shining collection of soul stars, and to it constantly seek in these bright galaxies to behold the one great friend smiling at you radiantly and clearly. It is God who comes to you in the guise of a true and noble friend to serve, inspire, and guide you. Each human being has his own conception of what constitutes physical and mental beauty. What seems ugly to one may appear beautiful to another. Looking at a crowd, you like some faces instantly, others do not attract you. The immediate attraction of your mind to the inner and outer features of an individual is your first indication that you have found a friend of the past. Dear ones whom you loved before are drawn toward you by a prenatal sense of friendship. Do not be deceived by physical beauty. Ask yourself whether or not the expression of a face, the manner of walking, everything about a particular person appeals to you. Sometimes eating, or lack of exercise may sufficiently change the features of a friend of former lives so that he escapes your recognition. But an unattractive body may harbor the soul of a real friend. Sometimes a beautiful woman falls in love with a homely man, or a handsome man with a physically plain woman, owing to the loving friendship of past incarnation. Therefore be sure that your eyes have not deceived you with regard to physical characteristics of a person whom you surmise may be a former friend. Ascertain whether you are mentally and spiritually congenial. Guard yourself against being prejudiced by little peculiarities. Delve deeply into that person's mind in order to find out whether your taste and inclinations essentially agree. Seek your friends of past incarnations in order that you may continue your friendship with them in this life and protect it into divine friendship. One lifetime is not always sufficient to achieve the perfection of unconditional divine love between friends. Ugliness of disposition and selfishness drive away all friends of former incarnation, whereas friendliness draws them towards you. Therefore be ready always to meet them halfway. Never mind if one or two friends prove false and deceive you, for others that are true will bring you many blessings. Divine friendship. Friendship is the universal spiritual attraction that unites souls in the bond of divine love. It may manifest itself either in two or in many persons. The Spirit was one. The law of duality, by the law of duality it became two, positive and negative. Then, by the law of infinity applied to the law of relativity, it became many. Now, the one in the many is endeavoring to unite the many and make them one. This effort of spirit to unify many souls into one works through our emotions, intelligence, intuition, and finds its greatest expression through friendship. When divine friendship reigns supreme in the temple of your heart, your soul will merge with the vast cosmic soul, leaving far behind the confining bonds that separated it from all of God's animate and inanimate creation. Okay, that's it for today. I'm quitting on S1P4, the top of page 6. Talk to you later. Bye.